this lecture we are going to learn history subject, lesson number 3, effect of British rule. Okay. So in this lecture we are going to study the effect of British rules over our India. So first we will see the point, establishment of East India Company. We know the students, British came in India for purpose of the trade, and they came in our country in India, and they established the East India Company. They want to do the trade with us. Okay, we have seen that due to geographical discoveries, the European power reached the Indian coast. All the Europeans, including Portuguese, Dutch, French, and British, entered the race of capturing the Indians' market. Students, in last lecture we saw the because of increase the industrialization. So that's why many countries they are searching the new market and geographical discoveries. Through this one, they got our Indian country and they came in our India. All the European include means Portuguese, Dutch, French, British. They entered the race of capturing the Indian market. When British come to the India for a trade purpose, the Portuguese had already settled here and they gave the bitter residence. Okay, means before came the British in our country. Before that, Portuguese was settled in our country. So after the British came, the Portuguese people didn't like the British. So that's why they given the better residence. They given the better residence to them. Later, friendly relations developed between them. After some times, Portuguese and British, their friendly relation developed. So to establish the dominations over India, both are they dominate over the India. The British has to face opposition from French, Dutch, and local rulers. Before come the because in India there have not one powers. There are many powers like French, Dutch, Portuguese, British. They all are want to the control the India. So British had to face the opposition to French, Dutch, and local rulers. I hope students understood this point. Establish of East India Company. British came in our country and they established the East India Company for the trade purpose. When they came in our country, before that Portuguese was settled in our country. Afterwards, British Portuguese people didn't like the British, but afterwards their relations developed, and afterwards, but still British have to face the French, Dutch, and locals rulers. They have to face the opposition to them. Okay, next one, British and Maratha. What is the connection of British and Maratha? Mumbai was the main center of British in a western India. Now also Mumbai is very important place. So that time also Mumbai was the main center of British in western India. They were trying to acquire the nearby territories, but the Maratha has strong hold over it. Is British. Okay, Mumbai was very important center, and British want to capture the Mumbai. Not only Mumbai, around surrounding territorious places, means surrounding place also they want to capture. But in Mumbai was the Maratha. They strongly hold it Mumbai. So that's why British they could not capture Mumbai. After the death of but the Maratha has strong hold it. After the death of Peshwa Madara, his uncle Raghunath approached the help for the British due to his greed for the Peshwaship. This led to interest the British in Maratha politics. Students, see what happened. British want to capture the Mumbai, but Maratha peoples they strongly hold the Mumbai. That's why British could not capture the Mumbai. After that, the Peshwa Madhavrao, okay, Raghunath, his uncle means his nephew Raghunath Rao. He want to become the Peshwa. So that's why he take the help of the British. And this times the British enter in the Maratha politics. During the 1774 to 1888, there three wars were fought between the Maratha and British. Between the 1774 to 1888 is between Maratha and British. Fought the three wars. How many wars? Three wars. During the first war, the Maratha untightly faced the British against power superiors. In first war, Maratha won. First war, Maratha won, but second and third war, Maratha they didn't won. They could not hold the Mumbai. In 1782, with the Treaty of Salbai, the British and Anglo-Maratha was come to an end. And 1782, with the Treaty of Salbai. Treaty of Salbai. So according to this treaty, first Anglo-Maratha was come to end, and Maratha's power, British power started in on Mumbai. Now next one is the subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance means what? Okay, in 1798, in 1798, Lord Wesley arrived in India as a Governor General. In 1798, Lord Wesley he came in India as a governor. His object was to establish British domination all over India. Aim. His objective was that he want to capture the India. He want to domination all over the India. For his son, the Sub-Adderley alliance with many Indian rulers. According to this alliance, the Indian rulers were assured of British military aid. And according to his alliance, he said Indian rulers were assured means according to this alliance, the Indian rulers were work to the British military head. They were some frames laid on them. Means they said that before was some king, so he sent to that king, so we will give the military support. The Indian rulers have no maintained British army in their court, have to pay cash or part of their territory to the company for its maintenance. So before was the king, they will take the help of the military. Means British will provide the military aid. So for that, so Indian rulers have to give the they have to give the pay cash to British military, and they have to give their territory to the company for its maintenance. Their rules could not have any alliance with any other's power or declare war against any power without the intervention of the British. The rulers will accept a British resident in this state. Some Indians will accept the system and lose their freedom, and some Indians will accept this alliance, accept this all things, and they lost their freedom because British said means they cover to all British rule. In 1802, Bajirao II signed the Subordinary Alliance Treaty with the British, and 1802, second Bajirao, he signed the Subordinary Alliance Treaty with the British, and second Bajirao, okay. He allowed the subordinary alliance with the British. This alliance will known as the Treaty of Versailles. Of this alliance we call the Treaty of Versailles. But this treaty was not acceptable to the some Maratha Sardar. This led to the Second Anglo-Maratha Wars. But this treaty, some Marathas not like. So again in Maratha and British had the second war. There was increased interference of British into the Maratha state. This became the intolerables and Bajirao second wage of war against the British, and this was very big. He was defeated in the battle and 1880 he surrendered to the British and he lost this battle. Second Bajirao, he lost his battle and after 1888 he surrendered to the British. In the meantime, the capital of Mughals was under the control of Daulat Rao Shinde by defeating the troop of Shinde. Okay, General Tek captured the Mughal Empire and gained victory over the Hinduism. So, means he the capital of the Mughal was under the control of the Daulat Rao Shinde. By defeat, he also defecting by the generals Tek and the Mughals emperor and gained victory over Hinduism. These types of the Mughal also lost their victory. Now third one, Chhatrapati Pratap Singh. Okay. Although the Peshwaships come to an end, Chhatrapati Pratap Singh of Satara was still ruling. Okay, many places there are many rulers they lost their leadership, but still Chhatrapati Pratap Singh he was the ruler in Satara. British signed a treaty with Chhatrapati Pratap Singh and appointed Grand Duke as an officer to assist him in the state affairs. So, but British government he appointed the Grand Duke as an officer in Chhatrapati Pratap Singh in his court. The Chhatrapati Detron was exiled to the Kashi. He died there in 1847. But British also, but Pratap Singh doesn't like. He fight with the British, and afterwards Chhatrapati Pratap Singh he have to lost his the power. Afterwards British he shifted in Kashi in 1847. He died there. Rango Bhabuji Gupte, a loyal officer of the Chhatrapati, fought the legal battle and went up the England, but his efforts were unsuccessful. Okay, Rango Babuji Gupte, he was the very loyal officer of Chhatrapati. The legal battle and he went to the for safety of the that place. So that's why he went to the England, but he was unsuccessful there. Later, Lord Dolphus rejected the adoption policy and 1848 extended the state of Satara. In 1848, the British captured the Satara state. I hope students you understood this point. So, what is the effect? Slowly, British captured the whole country, India. What's the effect of the British rule on India? First, dual government. Dual means two types. This Robert Clive in 1765 introduced the dual government system in Bengal. 1765 he started the Bengal. Robert Clive he started the dual government system in Bengal in 1765. The company undertook the work of revenue collection, whereas the Nawab of Bengal had to maintain law and order. What is the rules? Means British was renew the collection. Renew means tax. British will collect the tax and their Nawab of Bengals, and he will maintain the discipline. This known as the dual government system of this time is before how only one leaders he handled the whole country, but government British started the dual government, means British will collect the revenue from the peoples, and that Nawab, Bengal of Nawab, he will maintain the law in a peoples. The ill effect of the dual government. What is the bad effect of this government? Seen after a certain time period, many in the form of taxes went into the pocket of the company officer. Many British officers, they collect the revenue from the people. They are not give to the Nawab. They are keeping in their pocket. Okay. The monopoly of trade in India was given to the East India Company, and hence many trading companies in England invoiced them. And the monopoly of trade of India was given to the East India Company. The working system of the company in India received the criticism in England, and British Parliament introduced some important law to keep control over the company. So that's why the working system of the company in India received criticism in England and British Parliament. Okay, now we see the Parliament law. What is the Parliament's law? According to Regulating Act 1783, the Bengal's governor come to be known as the Governor Generals, and according to Regulating Act 1773, Bengal's governor came to be known as the Governor General. According to this act, Lord Warren Hastings became the Governor General of India, and Lord Warren Hastings, he became the Governor General of India. He got the right of control the policies of Mumbai's and Madras provision, and he got the rights of control the Mumbai and Maratha provision. A committee of 4 rulers member was set up to assist, and they committed the 4 members to assist him. In 1784, Pitt's India Act was passed. Okay, 1784, Pitt's India Act was passed. The acts provide for the appointment of a Parliament Board of Control for better regulations and management of affairs the East India Company in India. In 1813, 1833, 1853, a new laws were passed in these 3 years. 1813, 1833, 1854, they passed the 3 revolution. Parliament to make the certain changes in working of the company. In this way, 3 remote and indirect control of the British government. They are the control the administration of the East India Company. With this emergency, the British rules, a new administrative system got developed in India. This type British rules and their administration to develop in India. Civil service, military, police, force, judicial system become the main pillar of British administration in India. Civil service, military and force, judicial system. Okay, these are the pillars of the British administration. Okay, so they all are help for the British. So what is the civil service? To strengthen the British rules in India, there was a need of bureaus. Lord Cornwallis introduced the civil service become an important part of the British government. He restricted the provide trade carried out the company officer, and for this purpose they increased their salary. Okay, for their companies they want the good people, so that's why they increase their salary. For the conveyance, conveyances and administrations divided the British occupied territories into districts. The district collector was the chief of district administration, and then British started the district collector. Okay. He sent the district collector, chief of the district administration. He was the responsible for collection of revenue. What is the work of the district collections? He will collect the revenue, giving the justice, maintaining the law and orders. Now we know the work of the district collector. So first time this district collection the post British established in India. The officers were appointed through the competitive exam known as the Indian Civil Service. Now we know the competitive exam. Through the competitive exam, we select the good person for the civil service. So this competitive exam also started the British, but that time they started this all things for benefit of them. Okay, next one, military and police force. The duty of military was the safeguard of British acquired regions in India. Okay, the duty of military was the safeguard and acquires a new territories and bring down only revolt against the British in India. The maintains law and order in the country. So what is the work of military and police? They have to maintain the law and order in a country was the duty of the police force. Now judicial system. This judicial system also started in India. Okay. The British established a new judicial system in India on the basis of judicial system in England. How is the in England judicial system? So same this type they started in India. Every district had the civil and criminal code. They established the civil and criminal court in the district to solve the local case. For the reconciliations for their judgment of higher court was established, and for the judgment they established the high court. Okay. Now next point is the equality before law. In early time, law in India different from place to place. Before British established the judicial system, before that place from place to place they have the very different law. There were different judgment on the basis of the casteism. They judged on the basis of the casteism. Under the leadership Lord Macaulay, a committee was set up and created a code of law. And Lord Macaulay, he set up the one committee, and the committee created the code of law. That law is equality before law. Means every place law will be equals. In India's penal code was enforced all over British India with British principle of equality before law. Means how refers means every place given the punishment to different and based on the caste. But British established the equality. Okay, means they are not believing in a caste, but there was some defect in it. There were separate code and different laws for the European, but they make the difference between the European peoples and Indian peoples. But Indian peoples and before people, they have the different law. New law were difficult to be understood by common people, but that law is very difficult to understood. So legal case become an expensive affairs and community. The case remains pending for many years together. This law to common people not understood was possible, and it was very expensive, and that take so much time also. So many cases pending for years, for many years. Okay, I hope students you understood this point. Okay, we learned the establish of East India Company, how British came in our country, and how they take the control over the India. Okay, students read these all points and remaining parts we will learn in the next time. Thank you.